The massive alien fleet appeared without warning. Their ships blocked out the stars above Earth's major cities, casting enormous shadows that made everyone stop and stare up at the sky. Commander Stone stood on the bridge of his flagship, his four eyes narrowing as he studied the blue planet below. "Primitive," he muttered, watching the scattered lights of human cities. "Yet they've managed to survive this long. Interesting." His gray skin wrinkled around his mouth as he frowned, a gesture he'd learned was universal across most species. The communications officer, a younger alien named Reed, approached with a datapad. "Sir, we've decoded more of their transmissions. You'll want to see this." He handed over the pad with slightly trembling hands. Stone's eyes widened as he scrolled through the report. "They keep beasts as companions." He couldn't hide the disgust in his voice. In his culture, living with wild creatures was considered barbaric. "Yes, sir. They call them dogs and have integrated them into their military and security forces." Reed pulled up several images on the main screen. They showed German shepherds working with police, military dogs in training, and guard dogs patrolling facilities. Stone's antenna twitched with interest. So they've managed to weaponize local fauna. Clever. He misinterpreted the images completely, seeing only the tactical applications. "What else?" "They start training these beasts from a young age, sir. They call them puppies during the initial phase." Reed displayed more images, these showing families playing with their dogs and puppies in parks. Stone's face hardened. They train their young alongside these creatures. The indoctrination must run deep. He completely missed the joy and affection in the images, seeing only what he expected to see. A warrior culture breeding the next generation of handlers and war beasts. The first diplomatic contact went poorly. The human representatives, led by Ambassador Jack from the United Nations, tried to extend peaceful greetings. They'd set up a video conference to avoid any potential biological contamination. "We welcome you to Earth and hope to establish peaceful relations," Jack said, smiling warmly at the alien commander. Stone wasn't interested in pleasantries. "Your species intrigues us, particularly your beast program." "I'm sorry." Jack looked confused. "What beast program?" "Do not play ignorant, Ambassador. We've seen your training facilities. The creatures you call dogs, clearly engineered for combat." Jack fought back a laugh, thinking this must be a translation error. No. Dogs are our companions. They're pets, friends. Some help us with work, yes, but they're not weapons." Stone's antenna bristled with what his species considered righteous anger. "You deny the obvious militarization of these beasts. Perhaps a demonstration is in order." The video feed cut off abruptly. Jack looked at his fellow diplomats with concern. Did anyone else just hear an alien declare war because they think our dogs are secret weapons? In orbit, Stone paced the bridge of his ship. "They mock us with obvious lies, trying to hide their greatest military asset behind claims of friendship and companionship." He spat the words like they tasted bad. "Sir," Reed interrupted, "I found more transmissions. They seem to have facilities called dog parks where multiple beasts gathered for training, I assume." Stone watched footage of dogs playing, chasing balls, and running with their owners. His military mind transformed the innocent scenes into something sinister. The balls became training for catching grenades. The running became combat drills. The playful barks became battle cries. "Ready a tactical team," Stone ordered. "I want one of these beasts captured for study. We must understand their capabilities before they can be deployed against us." Reed hesitated. "Sir, the humans seem very protective of their weapons." "Of course they are, but we must know what we're facing." Stone turned to stare at the Earth again. "They think they can fool us, hiding their greatest weapons in plain sight, pretending they're mere pets." He shook his head. "We'll show them we're not so easily deceived." As the alien fleet moved into attack position, millions of dogs across Earth continued their daily routines, napping in sunny spots, chasing squirrels, and giving their humans loving licks. none of them aware they'd just been classified as the planet's deadliest weapons by a very confused alien commander. Intelligence officer Will stood nervously before the large display screen on the bridge, his thin fingers tapping against his datapad. Around him, the senior staff of the alien fleet waited for his presentation about Earth's beast weapons. "Begin," Commander Stone ordered, all four of his eyes focused intently on the young officer. Will cleared his throat. "Yes, sir. After analyzing thousands of Earth transmissions, we've compiled a detailed report on their beast program." He pulled up an image of a German shepherd in a police vest. "This appears to be one of their elite units." The image changed to show a dog catching a frisbee in midair. "As you can see, they train these beasts to intercept flying objects with incredible precision." Will didn't understand that he was looking at a simple game. "The beasts show remarkable agility and timing." "Fascinating," Stone muttered. "Continue." The next image showed a puppy learning to sit. "This appears to be their early training program. Notice how they use food rewards to condition responses." Will pointed to the treat in the trainer's hand. "They start indoctrination at an extremely young age." An admiral in the back raised her hand. "What about their command structure? How do they control these beasts?" Will nodded eagerly and pulled up a series of social media posts. They use a sophisticated system of vocal commands. "Sit," "Stay," "Good boy." These appear to be their primary control phrases. He highlighted each word as he said it. The humans also employ physical contact, often patting the beasts on the head after successful mission completion. And the beasts respond to these simple commands. Stone asked, skeptical. "With near-perfect obedience. Sir, watch this." Will played a video of a dog performing tricks for treats. See how the beast rolls over, plays dead, and then springs back to life on command. Their control over these creatures is absolute. The room filled with murmurs of concern. Stone's antenna twitched as he processed this information. What about their deployment methods? Will changed the display to show people walking their dogs on leashes. They use these restraining devices to transport their beasts through public areas. "We believe this is both for control and to prevent premature engagement with targets." "And this?" Stone pointed to a dog wearing a sparkly collar. "Some kind of combat decoration." "We believe so, sir. The humans mark their most prestigious beast units with these devices." Will had completely misinterpreted pet accessories as military honors. Some even have small metallic tags with identification codes. The presentation continued with more misunderstandings. A dog catching a ball became evidence of training to intercept projectiles. A puppy learning to shake hands was interpreted as combat training. Dogs playing in water were analyzed as amphibious assault units. "But here's the most concerning discovery," Will said, pulling up pictures of different dog breeds. "They've developed multiple specialized variants. Large ones for heavy combat, small ones for infiltration, furry ones for cold weather operations, and sleek ones for speed." He showed a picture of a Chihuahua. "This appears to be their stealth model, specifically bred for covert operations." Stone stood up, his gray skin paling slightly. "So they have an entire army of these beasts, perfectly trained, waiting to be unleashed." "Yes, sir. And there's more." Will's voice trembled slightly. "They keep these weapons in their homes. They sleep next to them. They've integrated them so completely into their society that our initial scans didn't even register them as weapons." The command room erupted in concerned whispers. Stone raised his hand for silence. "Your conclusion, intelligence officer." Will took a deep breath. "Sir, based on our analysis, these dogs represent the humans' most sophisticated weapons platform. They've spent generations perfecting these beasts, creating an unbreakable bond between weapon and wielder. The level of control they maintain, while letting the beasts appear to be mere pets, it's frighteningly clever." Stone nodded gravely. "Then we have no choice. We must demonstrate our power before they can fully mobilize their beast army." He turned to his staff. "Prepare for Operation Beast Hunter. We'll capture one of these creatures and learn its secrets." As the meeting ended, Will gathered his materials, still completely unaware that he just classified Earth's friendliest inhabitants as its deadliest weapons. Somewhere on Earth, a golden retriever was chasing its own tail, blissfully unaware of being labeled a highly trained combat unit by a very worried alien intelligence officer. The United Nations emergency meeting room buzzed with nervous energy. Delegates from every major nation sat around the massive circular table, watching the large screen where Commander Stone's stern face appeared, all four eyes blinking in sequence. "People of Earth," Stone began, his voice translated into multiple languages. "We have discovered your secret. Surrender your beast weapons immediately, or face the consequences." Ambassador Jack looked around the room in confusion. "Commander Stone, I assure you again, we don't have any beast weapons. Perhaps there's a translation error. Do not insult our intelligence." Stone's antenna quivered with anger. "We speak of the creatures you call dogs, your biological weapons program." At that exact moment, Security Officer Tom entered the room with his German Shepherd service dog, Max. Tom had been called in to help with security given the tense situation. He had no idea about the aliens' misunderstanding. "Weapon," Stone shouted through the video feed. "You dare bring one of your beasts into diplomatic negotiations. This is an act of aggression." Max, hearing the loud voice, tilted his head curiously and wagged his tail. Several of the delegates couldn't help but smile at the dog's friendly demeanor. "This is Max," Tom explained calmly. "He's my service dog. He helps me with my work and is very friendly. Observe." Stone pointed dramatically. "The beast responds to his commander's voice, and look at how it waves its rear appendage, clearly a signal to the other human warriors." Max, excited by all the attention, sat down and offered his paw to the nearest delegate, who tried very hard not to laugh while shaking it. "Dear God," one of the delegates whispered. "They think Max is some kind of super weapon." Stone's face filled with horror. "It's initiating physical contact. Everyone clear the room." His voice rose to a panic. "The beast is attempting to establish dominance through their ritual of paw shaking." Tom looked down at Max, who was now lying on his back, hoping for belly rubs. "Commander Stone, I think there's been a huge misunderstanding. Max is just being friendly. Look, he wants attention." Tom bent down and scratched Max's belly, causing the dog's leg to thump happily against the floor. "Combat training in the diplomatic chamber," Stone was practically shouting now. "This is unprecedented. The beast is practicing its ground combat techniques." The situation got even more complicated when Max spotted his favorite squeaky toy in Tom's pocket, a small rubber duck he used as a reward during long shifts. The dog's ears perked up at the sight. "No, Max, not now," Tom whispered, but it was too late. Max gave an excited woof and looked eagerly at the toy. The alien commander's face went pale gray. "It's calling for reinforcements. Quick, scan the building for more beasts." "It's just a toy," Tom tried to explain, pulling out the rubber duck. "See, he likes to play with it. A sonic weapon," Stone declared as Max squeaked the toy, designed to disorient enemies with its high-frequency assault. The UN Secretary-General finally stood up, trying to salvage the situation. "Commander Stone, I invite you to send a representative to meet Max in person. Perhaps direct observation would help clear up this misunderstanding." Stone's eyes narrowed. "You would let us near one of your most advanced weapons. This must be a trap." Max chose that moment to roll over and show his belly to the screen, tongue lolling out in a happy dog smile. "Look at that battle stance," Stone hissed, ready to strike at a moment's notice. "No, humans, we will not fall for your deceptions. You have 24 Earth hours to surrender all beast weapons, or we will be forced to take action." The screen went dark, leaving the room in stunned silence. Max, completely unaware of the diplomatic crisis he caused, happily squeaked his rubber duck again. Tom looked down at his furry partner and sighed. Well, boy, I think you just accidentally started an interplanetary incident. Max responded by licking his hand and wagging his tail, proving once again that he was perhaps the worst weapon in the history of warfare. The alien strike team crouched behind a row of bushes, their advanced camouflage suits shimmering in the early morning light. Captain Brick, the team leader, checked his scanner again. Multiple beast signatures detected, he whispered into his comm unit. At least 12 weapons gathered in one location. Command, are you seeing this? Back on the flagship, Commander Stone watched through the team's helmet cameras. Affirmative, Captain. You found one of their training grounds. Proceed with extreme caution. What the aliens had actually discovered was the local dog park, just opening for its morning visitors. The first arrival was an elderly woman with 3 small Yorkies on leashes. Alert! Brick hissed. Enemy handler approaching with 3 miniature infiltration units. The Yorkies, spotting a squirrel, began yapping excitedly. They've detected us. Another soldier, Rock, gripped his capture net tighter. The small ones must have enhanced sensing capabilities. The team watched in horror as more people arrived with their dogs. A man jogged in with his Labrador. A couple brought their poodle. Someone arrived with 2 golden retrievers. Each new arrival made the alien team more nervous. Sir, Brick reported, they're gathering their forces. Multiple beast variants present. This must be a major training exercise. A Great Dane walked past their hiding spot, its owner struggling to control its excited bouncing. By the stars, Rock whispered, look at the size of that assault unit. The situation reached critical mass when someone threw a tennis ball, sending half a dozen dogs running across the park after it. They're mobilizing, Brick shouted. Quick, deploy countermeasures. Rock activated what he thought was a stun device. It actually released a high-pitched sound that only dogs could hear. Every dog in the park immediately turned toward their hiding spot. Our position is compromised. Brick tried to maintain control. Prepare for. He never finished the sentence because a friendly golden retriever had just discovered them and decided these strange beings must want to play. The dog bounded over, tail wagging like a windshield wiper on high speed. It's charging. Rock screamed, trying to scramble backward but getting tangled in his own capture net. The golden retriever, believing this was a fantastic new game, pounced playfully on Rock. Its owner called out, Buddy, leave those nice, whatever they are, alone. But it was too late. Other dogs, seeing one of their friends playing with these exciting new people, rushed over to join the fun. The alien strike team found themselves swarmed by excited, friendly dogs of all sizes. Command, Brick tried to maintain radio contact while a corgi licked his helmet. We are under heavy assault. The beasts are using some kind of moisture-based attack. A poodle brought them its favorite ball, dropping it at Brick's feet and looking up expectantly. They're demanding tribute. Rock yelled, now completely wrapped in his own net, while 3 dogs tried to play tug-of-war with it. Commander Stone watched in horror through the helmet feeds as his elite strike team was reduced to chaos by what he assumed was a coordinated attack by Earth's finest weapons. In reality, it was just a normal morning at the dog park. Fall back, Stone ordered. Emergency teleport. Get out of there. The team vanished in a flash of light, leaving behind some very confused but happy dogs. Rock's capture net stayed behind, now serving as an excellent tug-of-war toy for the park regulars. Back on the ship, the strike team tried to make sense of what had happened. Sir, Brick reported, still shaking. They're beasts. They're unlike anything we've encountered. They didn't even need commands to coordinate their attack. And that ritual with the rolling sphere. He referred to the tennis ball. Some kind of training exercise we couldn't comprehend. Stone stared at the footage, watching dogs playing and having fun, yet seeing only a masterfully executed military operation. They're more dangerous than we thought, he concluded grimly. Their control over these beasts is so complete, they don't even need visible commands anymore. Meanwhile, back at the dog park, Buddy the golden retriever waited hopefully by the bushes, wondering when his fun new friends would return to play. Intelligence Officer Will sat alone in his analysis chamber, surrounded by holographic displays showing footage from the failed Operation Beast Hunter. Something wasn't adding up, and for the first time, he allowed himself to consider a shocking possibility. What if they were wrong about Earth's weapons? He played back the dog park footage again, focusing on a particular scene where a Labrador was rolling in the grass. Computer, analyze combat purpose of this maneuver, Will ordered. The computer whirred for a moment. No tactical advantage detected. Subject appears to be engaging in recreational behavior. Will's antenna twitched in confusion. Recreational. That's impossible. These are weapons, not. He paused, remembering something he'd dismissed earlier. Computer, show me the footage of the small furry unit sleeping in the sun. The screen displayed a Pomeranian napping peacefully in a sunbeam. Analysis of combat readiness, Will asked. Subject is sleeping. No combat protocols detected. Brain waves indicate contentment. Will started pulling up more footage. A puppy chasing its own tail. A dog getting belly rubs. A family playing fetch with their pet. Each scene he'd previously interpreted as military training now looked different. Computer, cross-reference all footage with known weapon systems across the galaxy. 0 matches found. The computer replied. Closest behavioral matches are to companion species and juvenile play patterns. Will's hands trembled as he accessed the ship's historical database. He found references to other species who kept animals as companions for emotional support and friendship. Could it be that simple? Just then, Commander Stone burst into the analysis chamber. Will, I need your report on the beast weapons weaknesses. Will turned to his commander, gathering his courage. Sir, I believe we've made a terrible mistake. What do you mean? Stone's 4 eyes narrowed. Will played the footage from the park attack. Look at this again, sir. But this time, don't look for weapons. Look at their faces. Stone watched as dogs bounded playfully around his strike team, tails wagging, tongues lolling out in happy dog smiles. These aren't attack maneuvers, Will explained. They're playing. They're happy. Computer, show emotional analysis of the beasts during the encounter. A chart appeared showing elevated levels of joy, excitement, and playfulness. 0 aggression. Impossible, Stone muttered, but his voice had lost some of its certainty. Sir, look at this. Will pulled up footage from human homes. Dogs curled up with children during story time. Dogs helping elderly people walk. Dogs comforting people who were crying. These creatures, their companions, Will said softly. They've evolved alongside humans for thousands of years, not as weapons, but as friends. Stone sank into a chair, all 4 eyes wide with disbelief. But the training facilities. Parks. Places for exercise and play. The command protocols. Basic instructions to help dogs and humans live together safely. The sonic weapon. Stone referred to the squeaky toy. Will actually smiled. Just a toy, sir. They play with them for fun. Stone watched more footage, his military training warring with the obvious truth before him. He saw a service dog gently helping a blind person cross the street. A therapy dog comforting sick children in a hospital. A family dog standing guard over a sleeping baby, not as a weapon, but as a protector. We've been seeing what we expected to see, Will concluded. We assumed they must be weapons because we couldn't understand how a species could form such a close bond with another creature just for friendship. Stone was silent for a long moment, watching a loop of Max the German Shepherd trying to make friends during the diplomatic meeting. Contact the human authorities, he finally said, his voice heavy with embarrassment. I believe we owe them an apology. As if to punctuate the moment, the computer displayed one final image. A puppy sleeping peacefully in its owner's arms, the ultimate proof that Earth's most misunderstood weapons were actually its greatest example of interspecies friendship. The United Nations had outdone themselves. The large conference hall had been transformed into what the humans called a dog show, but not the formal kind. Instead, it was a demonstration of the many ways dogs helped and brought joy to human society. Commander Stone stood nervously at the entrance, his security team hovering close by. Ambassador Jack greeted him with a warm smile. "I assure you, Commander, you're completely safe," Jack said. "In fact, I think you'll find this educational." The first demonstration was from a search and rescue team. A golden retriever named Scout showed how he could find people trapped under rubble. Stone watched in amazement as the dog used his nose to locate a volunteer hiding under a pile of foam blocks. "Remarkable," Stone muttered. "But this is still a form of military application, yes?" "Not at all," the rescue worker explained, scratching Scout's ears. "He does this because he wants to help people, and because he gets his favorite tennis ball as a reward." She threw the ball, and Scout bounded after it joyfully. Next came the therapy dogs. Stone watched in confusion as elderly humans brightened up at the sight of a gentle Labrador, their hands reaching out to pet its soft fur. "I don't understand," Stone said to Will, who stood beside him taking notes. "What tactical advantage does this provide?" A small girl in a wheelchair approached them, a fluffy Samoy by her side. "This is Cloud," she said, smiling up at the aliens. "He helps me when I'm sad or scared at the hospital. Would you like to pet him?" Stone hesitated, all four eyes blinking rapidly. Slowly, he reached out one gray hand. Cloud gently pressed his head against Stone's palm. Something changed in the alien commander's expression as he felt the soft fur. "It's warm," he said softly. "And the way it looks at you. That's love," the girl explained simply. "Dogs love us, and we love them back." The demonstrations continued. They watched puppies learning basic commands through gentle encouragement and treats. They saw dogs helping farmers herd sheep, but not as weapons, as partners in work. A blind man showed how his guide dog helped him navigate obstacles with care and dedication. Then came the moment that truly changed everything. A group of children were invited to play with puppies in a penned area, and the aliens were invited to join them. "Sir," Will whispered, "this could be our chance to observe their training methods up close." But when they entered the pen, they found no training, no weapons, no tactical exercises, just pure, simple joy as puppies tumbled about, played with toys, and sought attention from anyone who would give it. A small corgi puppy waddled up to Stone and flopped onto its back, exposing its belly. The alien commander looked helplessly at a nearby child. "He wants belly rubs," the kid explained, demonstrating. "Like this." Stone carefully copied the motion, and the puppy's leg began to thump in happiness. For the first time in his long military career, Commander Stone laughed. "Will," he said, watching the puppy now trying to climb into his lap, "I believe we've been looking at this all wrong. These creatures, they're not weapons at all. They're something far more powerful." "Sir, they're friends." Stone picked up the puppy, which immediately tried to lick his face. "All this time, we thought the humans were showing us their military might. Instead, they were trying to show us their capacity for love." Ambassador Jack approached with a knowing smile. "Commander, I believe you're beginning to understand." Stone nodded, still holding the wiggling puppy. "I am. And I believe the Galactic Federation has much to learn from Earth about the power of companionship." He looked down at the puppy, who had fallen asleep in his arms. Perhaps there's room in our society for such relationships as well." Will was already taking notes. "Sir, shall I prepare a report on implementing a companion animal program in our colonies?" "Yes," Stone said, carefully petting the sleeping puppy. "And Will? Include in the report that I may need to conduct personal research on this matter." The puppy yawned in its sleep, and Stone felt something he'd never experienced in all his years of military service. Pure, simple happiness. 6 months after the beast weapon crisis, the Galactic Federation's embassy on Earth had become famous for one particular feature: its puppy playground. Commander Stone, now serving as the Federation's first ambassador to Earth, had insisted on it personally. Another successful meeting. Intelligence Officer Will, now Chief of Cultural Exchange, asked as Stone emerged from a diplomatic session. Indeed, Stone replied, reaching down to scratch the ears of his constant companion, a golden retriever puppy named Star. It's amazing how much easier negotiations become when there's a dog in the room. The Federation had formally apologized for the misunderstanding, and humans had responded in the most human way possible, by offering puppies as diplomatic gifts. The resulting cultural exchange had transformed both societies. In the embassy's garden, alien diplomats were taking a puppy integration course, essentially puppy training classes. Their instructor was none other than Tom and his German shepherd, Max. Remember, Tom called out to his unusual students, "They can sense your emotions. Stay calm and positive." A young alien diplomat was trying to teach his beagle to sit, his antenna wiggling in concentration. The dog was more interested in sniffing everything in sight. "Why won't it respond to my commands?" the diplomat asked, frustrated. "Because," Tom explained with a smile, "she's a beagle. They follow their nose first and commands second. Each dog has their own personality. That's part of what makes them special." Stone watched the training session while reviewing the latest reports. The Federation's companion species integration program had been a massive success. Alien children were growing up with puppies, learning empathy and emotional intelligence in ways their society had never known before. "Sir," Will approached with a data pad. "You'll want to see this. The latest research from our science division." The screen showed brain scans of aliens before and after interacting with dogs. The changes were remarkable. New neural pathways forming, stress levels decreasing, social bonding hormones increasing. "We're learning so much more than we expected," Will said excitedly. "It's not just about companionship. These relationships are actually changing how our brains work, helping us understand emotions better." Stone nodded, watching Star play with a ball. Who would have thought our greatest diplomatic breakthrough would come from creatures we initially mistook for weapons? The embassy's communication screen lit up with an incoming call from the Federation Council. Star immediately sat at attention beside Stone. She learned this was important. Ambassador Stone, the council head, appeared on screen, then smiled at Star. And Ambassador Star, of course. Stone had insisted that his dog be given diplomatic status, starting a trend that had spread throughout the Federation. Now, diplomatic dogs were a common sight at intergalactic meetings. "The Council has reviewed your proposal," the head continued. "We are pleased to announce that the Federation will establish the first interspecies companion academy on Earth. Humans will help other species learn the art of animal companionship." Tom overheard the news and grinned. From feared beast weapons to diplomatic teachers, that's quite a promotion for our four-legged friends. Later that evening, Stone sat in his office, Star sleeping peacefully at his feet. He was working on his memoirs, tentatively titled "How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Dog." "You know, Star," he said to his sleeping companion, "some might say we made a foolish mistake, seeing weapons where there were only friends." He reached down to pet her soft fur. "But I think we simply didn't understand that love and loyalty could be more powerful than any weapon." Star wagged her tail in her sleep, perhaps dreaming of chasing balls or getting treats. Stone smiled, his four eyes soft with affection. The Federation had come looking for Earth's greatest weapons, and instead, they'd found its greatest gift, the unconditional love of a dog. On the embassy wall hung a new Federation motto, written in both human and alien languages: "Peace through positivity." Below it, dogs and aliens played together, showing that sometimes the best way to understand another species is to learn how they love.